Boker Tov, good morning. Good to be here together this morning and good to see people coming in. As you do make your way in, if you're with us on Zoom as opposed to YouTube, please do go ahead and excuse me, and share a greeting like Joni and Sandra just did. Good morning to each of you. And if you're with us on YouTube, please go ahead and like or subscribe to make it easier for you to find us, but to make others who may need and want community and easy for them to find us as well. Good morning to one and all. As we say, Boker Tov. Welcome to Boker Tov from Temple Sinai. Temple Sinai, welcome to Boker Tov from Temple Sinai Congregation of Toronto's daily opportunity to connect, to reflect, and to remember. I am Rabbi Michael Dolgan, and it's a pleasure to be here with you this morning on this Tuesday morning as we start our prayer together. And as we do on Tuesday mornings, we'll share a poetic offering from writer Rich Orloff, who we're lucky to have had him work together with us on some liturgical projects. And good morning, Sean. Good morning to one and all as we gather together here. Good morning, Annette and Alan. And let us begin, being that this is the time where we focus in the Torah portion on the building of the Mishkan, the tabernacle, and the functions that took place there. Let's turn to the words of Matovu, who talk about how beautiful it is for us to have communal spaces, whether they be ohalim, tents, or mishkanot, places of dwelling. Matovu oalecha Yaakov mishkanotecha Yisrael, v'ani barov chastecha avovetecha, eshtachave el hechal kodshecha beiratecha, Adonai ahavti me'on betecha, umkom mishkan kvodecha, v'ani eshtachave v'yachara'a, evracha lifnei Adonai usi, v'ani tfilati lecha Adonai et ratzon, Elohim barov chastecha, Aneni be'emet ishecha. Blessed eternal God, creator of the universe, you have fashioned our bodies with wisdom, creating within us a finely balanced network. To stand before you in prayer is itself a fragile miracle. Eternal God, we praise you as the healer of body and spirit. The soul that you have given me, O God, is a pure one. You have created and formed it, breathed it into me, and within me you sustain it. So long as my soul is within me, I will give thanks to you, eternal my God and God of my ancestors, source of all creation, sovereign of all souls. We praise you, eternal God, in whose hand is the power of all life and the spirit of all flesh. Let's join together La'asok b'divrei Torah, affirming our obligation and opportunity to learn in our tradition and from our tradition. And to add to it, this bracha applies not only to traditional texts like the one that follow it afterward, but even to modern Jewish offerings like the poem we share today. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu la'asok b'divrei Torah. Ba'arev na Adonai Eloheinu et divrei Toratcha b'finu v'fi amcha bet Yisrael v'niyeh anachnu v'tze'etzaenu v'tze'etzei amcha bet Yisrael kulanu yodeh shemecha v'lomdeh Toratecha lishma. Baruch atah Adonai hamlamed Torah le'amo Yisrael. Elu dvarim she'en lahem shiur. These are the obligations whose value cannot be measured. They nourish us in this world and help us to create the world to come. Kibud av va'em, to honor fathers and mothers. Ugmilut chasadim, to perform acts of love and kindness. Ashkamat ber midrash shacharit ve'arvit, to attend the house of study morning and evening. Bachnasat ochim, to welcome the stranger. Uvikul cholim, to visit the sick. V'hachnasat kala, to provide for brides and grooms. V'lvayat hamed, to keep faith with the dead. V'yun tfilah, to pray with sincerity. V'havaat shalom ben adam l'chavero, to make peace when there is strife. V'talmud Torah keneged kulam, and the study of Torah is equal to them all. Let us continue with our prayer that emphasizes the incredible power, creative power of words. And then we'll continue this morning with Psalm 121 with our prayer for journeys. Baruch she'amar v'haya ha'olam. Blessed is the one who speaks that we might listen. Blessed is the one who acts that we might be witnesses. Baruch hu v'baruch shemo. Blessed is the one who decides that we might accept. Blessed is the one who has mercy that we might live. Baruch she'amar v'haya ha'olam. Blessed is the one who removes the darkness that we might see. Blessed is the one who lives forever that we might believe. Blessed is the one who saves and delivers that we might be redeemed. Psalm 121, Shir Lama'alot, is one of the many songs of ascent found in the book of Psalms, and yet it has a special place amongst our people. When we go on a journey, a minion would come to the home of the person going on the journey, or sometimes three individuals or a minion, and recite this psalm as a way to ask God's protection on that person and on all Israel. And so we ask that divine protection as we turn to Shir Lama'alot. I will look only upward past the mountains, for my help comes from the one beyond. My help comes from the eternal maker of heaven and earth. Ever alert, your guardian will never allow your foot to stumble. The guardian of Israel never rests, never sleeps. The eternal will watch over you as a shadow cast by your right hand. You will not be overcome by the sun nor abandoned by the moon. The eternal will guard you from all evil, watching over you. The eternal will guard you as you set out and as you return from this very moment until the end of time. And with that spirit, we continue with the words of Shema Yisrael, these words of our twice daily affirmation of the power of echad, of achdut, of one and oneness and unity. A reminder that for all those who affirm the kind of moral vision that is represented by the extent of the Shema, that by doing so we become one in the image of God. And so let us join in affirming God and affirming our connection to those who seek to shape our world in the image of divine values. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuto Leolam Vaed. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha bechol levavcha ubechol nafshecha ubechol meodecha. Vayu advarim ha'ele asher anochi metzavcha hayom al levavecha. V'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam. B'shivtecha b'vetecha uvelechtecha v'derech uveshokbecha uvkumecha. Ukshartam leot al yadecha. Vayu letotafot ben enecha. Uchtavtam al mezuzot betecha uvishrecha. ויאמר אדוני אל משה לאמור, דבר אל בני ישראל ואמרת עליהם, ויעשו להם ציצית על כנפי בגדיהם לדורותם. ונתנו על ציצית הכנף פתיל תכלת, והיה לכם לציצית, וראיתם אותו, וזכרתם את כל מצוות אדוני, ועשיתם אותם, ולא תטו אחרי לבבכם, ואחרי עיניכם, אשר אתם זונים אחריהם, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם, אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים, אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם אמת. Well, as I mentioned, on Tuesdays, we have the privilege of sharing some words of poetry from writer Rich Orloff. Our connection to Rich began when, for our work on Slichot many years ago, we were pointed to a scene that Rich wrote by our friends at the Harold Green Jewish Theater, who pointed us toward a scene Rich wrote called "Can This Marriage Be Saved?" A comedic scene, but one not about a marriage in the normal sense, but about the relationship between God and Israel, but rather placed in family court instead of in a synagogue. And that piece shows such humor and sensitivity, such awareness of modern realities and ancient theological issues. I was so impressed at the way it was able to take serious issues, raise them in a new way, and bring humor to them as well. And I'm grateful to David and Avery, to the co-artistic directors of Harold Green Jewish Theater for making that connection for us so that we might see other such work by Rich that does in many ways similar things. And so I'd like to share this morning a poem of Rich's that addresses theological issues, but again does such, I think, with a humorous slant. I'll have a few words to say after I share it. It's called A Psalm About References. I tell God that before I'm willing to accept the divine as my deity, I'm going to need to see some references. The sun shines brightly, the breeze blows coolly, the earth brings forth both flowers and food, water flows from vast reservoirs into my cup. That's nice, I say. But what about droughts and storms and bitter cold? What about destruction and chaos? I need a deity that's reliable. As I wait for an answer, I'm feeling smugly satisfied, although worried that if I really want a relationship with the divine, I'm playing too hard to get. I take a walk in a nearby park, relishing the colors and the smells, sensing that each leaf is connected to more than just the trees I can see. As strong as my skepticism can be, my yearning is stronger. So I tell the divine, maybe we can work out a 2-week trial. The leaves make a soft sound in the light breeze. I'll take that as a yes. Again, the way that Rich works in commercial ideas, like a 2-week trial relationship, uh, and like the idea of references that before we make a commitment, we look for some kind of evidence that gives us an idea of what it is we're getting into. And the implication, of course, is that there are so many beautiful blessings in our world, so many gifts we've already received, that in the case of this relationship, if we open our eyes, we can see so many referencing moments, so many moments that tell us of the potential and the beauty of the gifts we receive from God, from the divine. And yet, we often do, as the words put it, play hard to get. One more time, a psalm about references. I tell God that before I'm willing to accept the divine as my deity, I'm going to need to see some references. The sun shines brightly, the breeze blows coolly, the earth brings forth both flowers and food. Water flows from vast reservoirs into my cup. That's nice, I say, but what about droughts and storms and bitter cold? What about destruction and chaos? I need a deity that's reliable. As I wait for an answer, I'm feeling smugly satisfied, although worried that if I really want a relationship with the divine, I'm playing too hard to get. I take a walk in a nearby park, relishing the colors and the smells, sensing that each leaf is connected to more than just the trees I can see. As strong as my skepticism can be, my yearning is stronger. So I tell the divine, maybe we can work out a 2-week trial. The leaves make a soft sound in a light breeze. I'll take that as a yes. I do think it's true that often in life, whether about spirituality or other things, we hesitate to recognize yearnings we may feel for inspiration, for connection, for so much. And I think it's important for us to be open to those feelings as well as gratitude, including a recognition of the way in which soldiers of the Israel Defense Forces of the democratic and Jewish state of Israel, the way they stand on guard for all of Israel's citizens and for us, especially at a time where there is, again, the clouds of war on the horizon. We hope that change in Iran can come internally to Iran and quickly for the good of its people, and without counting again on the brave soldiers of the IDF to take an active part. Please join me in this prayer for the soldiers of the IDF still actively on duty and at risk. מי שברך אבותינו אברהם, יצחק ויעקב ואמותינו שרה, רבקה, לאה ורחל, הוא יברך את חיילי צבא ההגנה לישראל ושאר מגיני עמנו העומדים על משמרתם. ישמרם הקדוש ברוך הוא ויצילם מכל צרה וצוקה ומכל נגע ומחלה, וישלח ברכה בכל מעשה ידיהם, ויקוים בהם הכתוב, וכיתתו חרבותיהם לעתים, וחניתותיהם למזמרות, לא יישאו גוי גוי חרב, ולא ילמדון עוד מלחמה, וישבו איש תחת גפנו, ותחת תאנתו, ואין מחריד, ונאמר, Amen. May the one who blessed our ancestors bless the soldiers of the IDF and all who stand on guard for us. May the Holy One guard them against all difficulty and distress, injury and illness. May all of their actions bring blessing, fulfilling the prophet's words. Let them beat their swords into plowshares and their spears into pruning hooks. Let nation not lift up sword against nation, and may they learn war no more. May all sit under a vine or fig tree, with none to make them afraid. And together we say, Amen. Well, we turn to another prayer in the Misheberach formula, acknowledging the one who blessed in the past, our ancestors, and asking that one to bless, and in this case, to support healing. Recognizing that our prayers for those who are injured or ill or isolated or unwell not only are of value in themselves, but can be a step toward reaching out to them when we find ourselves, unfortunately, in such a situation, accepting the strength that we need, accepting the help that we need, and kind of help bring goodness and connection for all those who, due to challenges with all aspects of their health, are in need. And so for the names given to me and given to Temple, for the names placed in the chat in this and other services, we turn to these words of refuah. מי שברך אבותינו אברהם, יצחק ויעקב ואמותינו שרה, רבקה, לאה ורחל, הוא ירפא את כל מכותינו. יהי רצון מלפניך אדוני אלוהינו להחלימם ולרפאותם, ישלח לנו מהרה רפואה שלמה ועטרת שלום, ונאמר Amen. May the one who blessed our ancestors bless and heal all who suffer. May it be the divine will to provide healing and strength. Reveal to us the holiness of life, the wholeness of shalom, and together we say, Amen. Well, we pause now and reflect and take our time to remember those who died in recent days and weeks, those who died at this season in years past, and those whom we have taken into our hearts with our own. During these past years, during these past days, during the period of Shloshim, we extend our condolences to the families of Linda Naiman, Robert Uden, Barbara Reich, Sheila Prowski, Barbara Newman, Sidney Matthews, Martin Ehrlichman, David Kernerman, Barry Solway. And on Yahrzeit, on this date, on the 7th day of Adar, the traditional Yahrzeit of Moshe Rabbeinu, of Moses, our teacher, on the 24th of February, we honor the life and legacy on Yahrzeit of Joy Andrews, Jack Barkin, Emil Ecker, Sylvia Gold, Marge Goldberg, Ian Hart, Ricky Linzen, Don London, Beryl Morehouse, Israel Shapira, Francis Sherman, Morris Singer, Max Wilder, Ida Wise. Zichronam Livracha. May their memories be a blessing to us. Our griefs and our sympathies are mingled as we turn together towards sanctified by memory, words glorified by hope. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemeh Rabbah, be'alma divrach cheruteh ve'yamlich malchuteh, b'chayechon u'v'yomechon u'v'chayeh dechol bet Yisrael, בעגלה ובזמן קריב אמרו אמן. יהא שמי רבה מברך לעלם ולעלמי עלמיה. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשה ברכו. לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, תמירן בעלמה ואמרו אמן. יהא שלמה רבה מן שמיה וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במומם, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn and bring comfort and strength to all who remember. And together we say, amen. Temple is grateful that a number of donations have been made today. A contribution has been made to the Rabbi's Discretionary Fund by Ann Morehouse, observing Yahrzeit for Beryl Morehouse, and by Bonnie Singer, observing Yahrzeit for Morris Singer. A contribution has also been made to the Minyan Fund by Albert Shapira, observing Yahrzeit for Israel Shapira. Well, again, I want to wish everybody a Boker Tov. Mazel tov. I hope today is a meaningful and good day for everyone, that everyone has a good event to be told Mazel tov about. And just want to wish everyone to join us here again tomorrow, well, and having a good day. Boker tov.